Joining me live from Washington in the last segment of the program this evening is the great R. Madhavan, actor and director, film personality, and whose film, Rocketry, which we are so privileged to have been associated with in the past, has been given the National Award for the best feature film in the country at the National Film Awards. Madhavan, many congratulations. Just want to begin by saying I look back at our interview with you and Nambi sir at that moment, and it gave me goosebumps, and I think this is so well deserved. So many congratulations.
Thank you so very much, Arnab. This is a matter of great pride. It's a momentous day of my life, an unforgettable day. And I and Nambi sir fondly remember the interview we've done with you because you were so well researched. You had seen the film over the night that I had sent it to you, and your questions were so relevant.
Yes.
That we very fondly remember, making it the most relevant interview we gave during the release of Rocketry.
It's kind of you to say that. I also think that it is a directorial debut. So, the obvious question would be what's next. But what I would like to know really is that this particular film, which tells the story of Nambi Narayanan, was an incredible subject, a very compelling story. Briefly, you can tell everyone it was a labor of love. This is an unconventional film, Madhavan. You know this. There is no formula that it follows. You put your heart, effort, soul, money, sacrifice, everything into it. There's something that must have moved you about the story, about the plot and everything. I want you to just talk about it a little bit because it must have taken a lot of thought to make this film.
Yes, this story and concept was brought to me by Mr. Madhavan. And when he told me about Nambi Narayanan sir, I remember wanting to do the research on him immediately. And very strangely, the last scene of this film is actually from an interview that he gave, and we had to match him and me in terms of the look so that it looks seamless during the film. But that interview that you saw where Mr. Nambi Narayanan breaks down and wipes his tear was the interview that I saw alone in my room. And I remember the exact moment. It's very strange, but I think maybe people have a premonition, I guess, because I got up, I clapped, I had a tear in my eye, and I said, I'm going to make this story has to be told. I remember saying that to myself, and I also remember telling myself, remember this moment because this is going to be a moment of greatness for you, Maddie. I remember saying that to myself. So I guess it's just a divine moment. And when I looked at Nambi Narayanan sir's story, I thought it was baffling. And at that time, we had no idea about his achievements. And when I went and met the man in Trivandrum, I could see a silent grace and strength in this man that was not part of the story that I had heard about it. Until then, I've only heard about a wrong case and everything that was done to him and how wrong it was. But I knew I was missing something. And Arnab, when I went to him after 6 months after writing a script that was only about the case, and he started slowly unfolding and telling me about his achievements, which is when I knew I was on the absolute right track. What I had been missing, what was nagging for the past 6 months was the fact that I was dwelling on his case when I had to dwell more on his achievements and what Nambi Narayanan meant for the country, for ISRO, and what his engine Vikas was going to do. And yesterday was a moment of great glory and pleasure for me because yet again, Vikas engine was involved in the launch, has never failed, and Chandrayaan proved the astuteness and the exotic ability of our ISRO scientists.
It's serendipity. Yesterday, in fact, day before yesterday, Nambi sir was on the program. So we were having this chat, and there was this little moment of frostiness between him and Madhavan Nair. Different perspectives. And we were debating how much the government has invested in ISRO. And, Nambi sir in his usual style was talking pure fact. He's not diplomatic. He's not politically correct. He said you have to put your money where your mouth is. You have to really invest. And that's the only difference. The problem is resources. You can plan and achieve anything, but it's resources. So I was just thinking, day before yesterday, he was on my program. This was the conversation. Yesterday was Chandrayaan. Today we are looking at things differently. And this same person, Nambi Narayanan, who was called names and all kinds of things were done today. Wherever he is going, people touch his feet and they regard him, they talk of his life, and that is your contribution. So in a way, that's you popularize space into the lingo of people. Now, I think the film becomes even more relevant, I think, after yesterday's touchdown. Don't you think? People must see what has gone into making it.
Without a doubt. I feel bad that as a film industry, we don't make more science-oriented films. We don't make heroes of our scientific achievers, of our engineers. And, that has been my only regret. And Rocketry is my first step towards that. The relevance that I think something like the Chandrayaan success is, and I want to explain this to a lot of people who keep asking, what is the benefit to the common man? What is the use of going to space? Why are we wasting so much money on it? So the fallout of the technological prowess of this country in terms of what ISRO has used for this mission is going to be so good and so helpful for consumer technology, for consumer commercial and as well as medical and scientific uses. And, to get a mission proved, puts everything in perspective that and bears testimony to the fact that this technology, this indigenously grown technology, is wonderful and working, and it benefits the common man from the very day it's been invented. And so I can understand Nambi Narayanan sir's angst when he says more money has to be invested. And I'm sure that people will see the merit of it, Arnab. I don't need to preach to the choir, but it's often believed that earlier on, whoever, ruled the seas, ruled the earth, and then whoever ruled the skies, ruled the earth. But we know now that space is the final frontier. Like it or lump it, we have to join that race to establish the supremacy and the actual existence of our country. So I think people like Nambi Narayanan sir and the rest of the phenomenal scientists that we have in ISRO need to be celebrated. They need to be put on our shoulders. And most importantly, we need to protect them as national assets. And I think with the success of Chandrayaan and what Rocketry has to show for it, will reiterate what I'm trying to convey right now.
So what are you going to spend more time on, acting or direction, filmmaking now?
This was thrust upon me. It was not a voluntary choice or not something that I wanted to do with this film. I just written it and I hope to act in it. And I was compelled to direct it. And I'm afraid that if I do anything else without equal conviction, then people will find out that I'm not such a good director. So I'm afraid of jumping into it right now. So I will be acting for a bit. And when the calling comes and I find a subject that, resonates deep within, I will definitely jump into that arena and start directing again.
It's so great to see a non-film which is essentially you can call it a work of fiction, but which is non-fiction, get the award for Best Feature Film. I'm delighted because I think non-fiction, we have so much contemporary history and future generations need to know about it. There's no better way of doing it than you are doing right now, biopics, non-fiction, etc. But Madhavan, very, very proud of you. We've seen you grow in stature, in conviction, and in your risk-taking ability. We all wish you all the best on this great occasion. And I hope you spoke to Nambi sir. Have you spoken to him since you got the award?
He has become a father figure for me, and I think he imagined me to be his son. So the first call went out to him, and I could see the sheer joy on his face. Arnab, I can tell you that 5 years of angst, the blood, the sweat, the agony, everything just got wiped away in that 1 second. My wife and I made the video call to him, and I saw in his face the radiance and the sheer joy of a man vindicated, and I cannot thank God enough for that particular moment.
Yeah. That is the biggest award. Thank you, Madhavan. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for being such a great supporter, Arnab. I really appreciate this. Jai Hind.